India has had a long history of steel making. Some say that it goes as long back as about 3000 years ago. There is a community in parts of Jharkhand, parts of Odisha, maybe parts of Chhattisgarh as well, known as Asur. Asurs are the original steel makers of India. And it is no surprise that the first trans-country empire or maybe transnational empire was the Magad Empire, which was based quite close to where Asurs resided. India also made an iron pillar in Mehrauli, Delhi, way back in 4th century AD, which still stands today and it has not rusted. After years of research, they found out that the phosphorus, high proportion of phosphorus in its pillar, in its compositions, protects it from rusting through a fine coating of the iron phosphate or some such compound. In fact, the Persian hero Rustam always carries the Indian sword made of Indian steel. So that's how his story goes. People say that the steel, high carbon steel that went by the name of wood steel was actually a kind of distorted name of Ukku steel, wood, or Ukku, you can see how the pronunciation go. And one of the sidelines of the history also tells us that like what they did to Indian weavers, they also went about destroying the Indian woods manufacturers in southern India. And simultaneously the British steel making took off in the 1850s. So you can see a lot of similarity, a lot of history that India has and how India is trying to revive itself in the steel making. We, of course, are one of the fastest growing nations, and that we owe to ourselves through the path and through the resolve that our founders laid before the nation. And Amrit Kal that we wish to fulfill their ambitions and their goals and their aspirations to get a modicum of economic growth, social progress that meets the decent living aspirations of the people. These steel makers have to play a huge role. One of the assumptions behind the National Steel Policy of 2017 is that the elasticity of steel consumption is one with that of the GDP growth. So the proportion of growth, the rate of growth of the steel consumption would be the rate of growth of the steel. The steel consumption is rising very fast. In fact, it was about 105 million tons in year 21-22. In year 22-23, it was around 119 million tons. So approximately 12.7% of growth in a year's time, which is a humongous rate of growth. As India aspires to become also a great manufacturing nation, wanting to meet the needs of the world and be part of their own supply chains, it also needs to diversify in various items of steel making, various grades of steel making, and that it is doing with a great degree of aplomb, and the country is being assisted in this regard by various incentives and schemes, for example, the production linked incentive scheme, of which the first phase concluded. Of course, the process has begun, but the MOUs had been signed last month on March 17, and 57 MOUs, 25,000 crore investments, 27 companies. So, but we are also ready for the second phase of the PLI and look forward to your suggestions in this regard.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.